6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Looks like I could be on my own tonight, so it'll be a bit of a short show. I want to bounce off, obviously. And I am absolutely knackered. It was a long, long day today. First day back, and I've got 3 more days and 2 more nights to do, and then I'm done for Crimbo. And by the way, hopefully, I've got 2 great shows lined up. And we hopefully got Stefan coming back on to talk about Newcastle's budget, January window, and also about what Man City are doing and how that can affect their Nufc. So that is a huge coup if we get him back on. I mean, this guy goes on TalkSport and everything. So fingers crossed. It will be a day, though. It won't be a night show. It'll be a day show because he's told me he's going away for Christmas. He says he can do hopefully a day show. He's going to get back to me as soon as he can. So fingers crossed, guys, because I know people have been asking for him to come back on again. Roger says evening all. Leslie says evening, Roger. Welcome to Leicester City Preview. Please like and share, subscribing to help the channel grow. It is free. However, please adhere to community guidelines. Keep comments respectful and enjoy the show. Join from just 99p to be entered into a regular members prize draw. Donations can be made using the super chat in the bottom right hand corner, or you can join a member using the link at the top of the chat. Now, don't forget, everything goes into the channel to run it, and then we donate money to charity. Over £6,700 given away, which is incredible. Another exciting, nervously excited feeling. More confident for the win, but not much in the truth. I like it. What T-shirt did you choose, Roger? That's a very good question. Dan's made it! Santa's in the house. Santa is in the house.
Ho, ho, ho.
Do you know what you need to do for me, right? And I need you to record this one, right? You need to go on YouTube, right? And then listen to this Santa song. And it goes boom, boom, boom. And my little girl loves it. She does the action. She does that. So I need you to do that. And I need to show her it. And I want to see her. I want to record her reaction for you.
Will do. Boom. It's a Santa song that says boom, boom, boom. Are you going to send me the link or what?
I will find the link for you.
Find the link and send it to me. I'll be happy to. That'll be fun.
That'll be amazing. Her face will
sorry, I'm late. I just got it back into the house from the dentist. So
just a checkup.
Just checkup. Yep.
That's what we like to hear.
Twice a year. You know,
twice a year, same for me.
I just squeeze it in before the end of the year. So there you are. Yeah. So
I was to say we went 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I can never remember. I want to say Oddy and Nets, but it'll be Dubs J7 rested. Oh, Roger, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And UFC in kind of RoboCop style. A lot of the Forest fans think that not a great keeper, Roger. Being honest, I've never watched him except in internationals. He's always done well in internationals. What was lost signal? Got it yesterday. Oh, what did you get? The OCP one, right? I get you. I opted for the channel T-shirt. Oh, that's actually still an option. So there you go, guys. You want a channel T-shirt? Get yourself a Diet Crow, 20% off using Baz code BAZ20, and you get 20% off. So until it's proved otherwise, I say give him a go. I mean, he could be all right. Did he not play a cup game for us recently? It looked solid to me. Wasn't against Prem opposition, though. Did he play against Wimbledon? Or was that Dubs? I can't remember. Pre-season, potentially. I can't remember. I really can't remember. But again, and if it was against Wimbledon, let's face it, they didn't have much to do, did they? Murphy's playing on the left for Portsmouth now. Obviously, his brother. Dan's back.
I'm back. Sorry.
It's all right. I was just going through the
Chrome just went.
I love it when it does that.
Yep.
Les, it was uneventful, so maybe that's why we don't remember much exactly. Yeah, it was against Wimbledon. He played. Well, again, didn't have a lot to do. Apparently, the channel T-shirt's live for anyone to buy. I didn't realize that. I thought he just did it for us, so I could get them for you guys.
Looking forward to it. That's gonna be fun.
I can't wait for it. Right, lot to talk about. Press conference first of all was very interesting. Eddie Howe. Looking forward to the game. Certainly a difficult week to navigate through, but it's all about being positive. Very quickly, you have to turn it around. We've got a game to play on Saturday, then another midweek game and a really important competition. So very quickly, there could be a lot of positive. So he's obviously looking forward to Saturday, but he's also got one eye on the midweek game on Wednesday against Brentford. And if we can get 2 wins in a row, and I know it because you know what our fan base is like at times online. It kind of puts a massive positive spin on things because you get that massive 3 points and then you're in a semi-final of the Carabao Cup again. And how many times in our history, in 3 years, have we been in the Champions League, been in a final of a Carabao Cup, and then been in a semi-final of a Carabao Cup?
Yep.
Crazy.
We'll take it. Take it all day long.
But it's mental. Because we've never had this, and fans are still complaining.
There is still the Eddie out brigade. No, stop.
Yeah. Oh, wait there.
Exactly. Yep. There you go.
I'm keeping that. That's it's staying there.
That scene.
It's brilliant, isn't it? I can't wait for the third. I can't believe they're bringing a third series out, and I can't wait for it. Right, Callum Wilson. I feel sorry for the lad. He gets a lot of stick. We don't really give him stick on here. We give constructive criticism, I like to think. We know how good he is. I mean, he's in the all-time goal-scoring list in the Premier League for Newcastle United. So, I mean, you're not a bad player if you're in that list. The problem is
when he's fit, he's guaranteed goals. Absolutely.
Exactly.
The problem is he's reached 32 years of age now and he can't stay fit.
Exactly. Now, there's a few YouTubers who went off on one, which I couldn't believe it. One in particular who said, "How are you injured again?" And then I was thinking back to a charity match where this person went down with cramp in both legs in a 6-a-side game, playing 50 minutes. So injuries happen. And unfortunately, when you've got so many injuries over the years like Callum Wilson has, his body remembers. And unfortunately, it's very hard to repair quickly when you get to that age. I mean, it took me a week to get over playing 50 minutes. I mean, Wilson's 30, like I said, 32 now. He is struggling. I just think I feel sorry for him. That's all. I don't want to belittle him because of what he did. I mean, let's face it, he scored the first goal in the first win of the Eddie Howe era against Burnley, which got us a massive 3 points and got us on the road of things. He kept us in the league for 2 years under Steve Bruce. And this was when he had Villa after him as well. And he turned down Villa to come to Newcastle, even though I wouldn't have turned down Villa at that point in his career because Villa were a team that looked like they were going places. And we looked like a team that was stuck in the mud. So you've got to be thankful for what he's done and what he's brought. But on the same side, we're also realistic as fans. We're realistic as Newcastle, looking on the outside thinking it's time to let his contract run out at the end of the season.
Agreed. Yep. Eddie, as much as I think he wants to, as much as he likes to have the guys that he's familiar with, that he's played with, that he knows what he can get out of them. But unfortunately, I think that's a particular stone that you're not going to be able to squeeze blood out of anymore, Eddie.
No.
You got to let that one go. If Callum decides that he wants to go to Dubai or Qatar or whatever and play for 6 months and get whatever payment he's going to get, because those guys don't appear to have any problems paying money out the nose, then go for it. But I think it's fair to say his contract is done at the end of the season, and there we go.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, there's been loads of full stories, and the press will come to that maybe a little bit later on. But yeah, I think it's time that Wilson goes abroad to a hot country where his body might adapt faster and recover quicker, because you do, and it's it's scientifically proved that the more heat you get into your body, the blood rushes to those areas faster and you heal faster. It's just a natural thing. Sunlight, vitamin D, and all that sort of stuff.
And we're going to experience our first winter in Newcastle next month. So
yes, you are. And I'm not going to lie to you. You're actually going to get a very easy one so far.
Really?
Yeah. Right. It is mild as anything, and it's nearly Christmas. It's crazy.
All right. Well, there's still mid-January, my friend.
Yeah, it's normally ice, everything, potential snow.
I got some waterproof shoes I learned from last March. that 1 day trip to Edinburgh where it lashed down rain, I came back with soaked feet and no good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the last thing I want to say on Wilson as well, he's playing in the hardest league in the world, in the Premier League, the fastest league in the world as well, and his body can't cope with it anymore. And that's why maybe going to Saudi, where the league's slower, you won't have to put so much energy into 90 minutes. You play in spits and spurts. You'll probably be on the pitch longer.
He could play in Spain. He could play in Spain.
Potentially.
He could play in Italy. He could play, in the Turkish league. He has options. He just the Premier League is too fast and too rough and tumble for him anymore. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Major League Soccer.
Major League Soccer, right? Again, no harm in him going to America, though, is there?
Oh, he could play in LA. He could play in. I'm thinking of warm spots. He could play in Dallas. He could play in Houston. He could play in
California,
Orlando. Yep. There you go.
I would just love to see him be successful somewhere other than in the UK. He needs to move on. November was awful. December canny. January ? There you go. So November was not great. December's just been. It's weird. Everyone says global warming's bad. I can cycle to work without being in danger. It's great. Eddie Howe and Sven Botman, the great news is he's been training consistently now for around 4 weeks. That was the plan. We are taking medical advice and trying to follow the right protocols for the injury he had and try to make sure we give him the best chance to stay fit. We need Botman back, don't we? But they're doing the right thing. They're not rushing him back. In the past, we might have, because he's been consistently training for 4 weeks. They might feel we need to shore our defence up because we're shocking at the moment. Let's get Botman back in. But no, they're doing the right things, aren't they?
If he's been training regularly now for 4 weeks, I can see him getting on the bench in the cup. He could conceivably be on the bench tomorrow against Leicester. But I think we're taking the right approach to him doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, and that scar, you can still see the scar on his knee, so it was a big one. I do feel sorry for him. I love Botman. It was just so poorly handled, wasn't it? Right, win probability. So this is obviously something I like to look at. 74% Newcastle, 50% the draw, and 11% Leicester City.
But they've got a new manager bounce in their stuff right now.
That was the next topic. So Ruud van Nistelrooy.
And I'm going to be honest and say, when he became caretaker manager, first of all, I mean, to show up on Ten Hag's coaching staff, I was surprised. I didn't see Ruud as Von Horseface. I didn't see him as a manager. But look at what he did. Look at what he did with Man United in the one game, or 2 games.
Two.
So I'm excited for him. I saw the comments that he made about Sir Bobby, and that
were brilliant.
That just made me smile. As much as I hated playing against him as a player, he looks like he looks like someone who's been learning from some of the best. And I'm excited to see him. I just hope he has a shit day tomorrow. That's all.
Yeah. Well, some interesting stats on Ruud van Nistelrooy, and I love my little cool stat things.
Yep.
This is Leicester's manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy's 7th game in charge of a Premier League side in all competitions this season, but this is the first time he's managed an away game.
There you go.
That's crazy. In his playing career, this is really interesting. The Dutchman played 5 times at St. James's Park, scored in every single game, 100% record. There's only one more player who's done that, and that was Jamie Vardy at the Hawthorns. 100% record at the Hawthorns. So there you go. Jamie Vardy broke his record, didn't he, with how many goals he scored in the consecutive games. So there you go.
And now they're together. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. There's some horrible stats as well. Newcastle have shipped 3+ goals in each of the last 2 Premier League games, 3-3, 4-2. Last doing so in 3 games in a row in December and January last season. So we don't want to be doing this again. The Magpies have done so on 10 occasions in 2004, only doing so more often in 2001. We did it 12 times. In 2014, 11 times in a single year, giving away 3 goals. Injuries and suspensions for us. Oh, what's this? 125-1, Gary, for 8-0. Let's face it, guys, we're struggling. So let's not go for cricket scores when we just need 3 points.
Right.
According to injuries and suspensions, Jamal Lascelles, Joe Willock, Emil Kraft, Wilson, Nick Pope potentially, but Eddie Howe never said that in his press conference. He said he was hoping he was going to be fit enough, and then Keith Downey comes out straight after the press conference and says he's out for a month. So I don't know who you believe. Hard to make predictions, isn't it? A good game in store, goals as well. I will stick with coverage of my convictions. 4-2, the 2 could be wrong, of course. Being involved in 2 4-2s in a row, that would be not many teams that happens to. There's obviously quite a few injuries and suspensions for Leicester. Obviously, they're missing 3 key players in midfield, which is fantastic for us. I know it's horrible to say that, but it is what it is. Ndidi out, Harry Winks out. There's quite a few players out, to be fair.
The one I'm most interested in is just make sure that Jamie Vardy is quiet.
Well, we've always kept him quiet, which is good. Always kept him quiet, but let's not go there. Because every time we say something like that, it always backfires. Head-to-head record in the last 5 matches, and this includes home and away. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Okay. Bodes well.
Yeah. The loss. I can't even see the loss on there. Where is it? There it is. 12th of December 2021. We lost 4-0. I think that was one of Eddie Howe's first games in charge, wasn't it? When we tried to play out from the back and it backfired.
Yep.
Lascelles give away a penalty. Didn't he get sent off as well or something?
I think so. I remember right.
Yeah. Horrible.
Miserable.
Yes. But my favourite and your favourite and John's definite favourite was the 2-1 win.
Yep.
Bruno's last-minute diving header.
Oh, man.
Right in front of the Gallagher end. All started from targets passed down the line, which was fantastic.
Out to Willock.
Bullet header.
Off a deflection. That's what I think. I think that was my favorite part. Was Willock attempting the cross, and then it popped up off of somebody's heel, and Bruno was there. Now I also have to laugh because has anybody ever noticed that as soon as Bruno gets up and he rips off his kit and he starts running, has anybody ever noticed as he's running he goes and shifts his shorts just a little bit lower?
Yeah. He went to
just like, it's like, what are you doing, mate?
I'm sure it was Joe Linton who got a hold of him as well and said, no.
And then gave him a hug and got him sat down. And he's just like, you're not getting your arse out. No, put it down. Put it down. Put it on the pitch.
We've had some absolute crackers over the years against Leicester as well. I mean, I go all the way back to when we won the championship and we beat them 7-1 on the final day of the season.
Yep.
There was the Alan Shearer FA Cup comeback when Kenny Dalglish was in charge, and we beat them 4-3 after being 3-1 down.
Yep.
Emil
hat-trick.
Heskey. Yeah. I think Emil Heskey scored a hat-trick for Leicester as well, didn't he?
Yep.
Uh,
That was a cracking game too.
it was.
But that it wasn't. That wasn't the match that Neil. I mean that.
Martin O'Neill.
No,
He
no,
was
no,
in
no, no.
charge.
No. I know that. No, that wasn't the match that Shearer accidentally kicked the guy in the face. I'm trying to remember who that was.
No, that was Neil Lennon, and I was
Neil
there.
Lennon. Yeah.
It was one of Shearer's first games back from his knee injury.
Okay.
And we lost 1-0, and Shearer got frustrated and booted him in the face. There's been some unbelievable
to this day.
encounters.
It still comes up to this day. Neil Lennon will drop that one on a hat.
Yeah. Neil Lennon says he went for the ball.
Yep. But then again, we were there last year for it. There was the frustration of the 0-0 draw that saw us earn Champions League football.
Yeah.
So it's not all
nervous game.
It's not all wine and roses when it comes to the Foxes. So
no, they actually nearly beat us that game as well. They had the chance in the last minute, didn't they? And fluffed their lines.
But it's always been entertaining playing with them. And who was the center back? The bald one.
Elliot. Was it Elliot?
Matt Elliott. Matt Elliott.
Yeah. There we go.
Always fun to play against him as well. Just good stuff.
He always used to come up with a goal, didn't he? He used to be someone you want in your fantasy team. Didn't he score one of the goals against Borough in the Carabao Cup final, or the Carling Cup, what it was called back then?
Whatever it was, back then.
I remember
Coca-Cola Cup or whatever.
Yeah, Borough got relegated after being to 2 finals.
Yep.
Sorry, Middlesbrough. Had to bring that up.
Couldn't happen to a better group.
Exactly. Right, guys, don't forget, we've got amazing sponsors, Diacro, Baz, 20% off. Link is in the description, and we have a channel t-shirt if you want to order that one. It's a fantastic t-shirt, which we'll all be wearing in January when we're on stage.
Yes.
And don't forget about football prizes, and Alan Shearer signed, custom-led, framed shirt. Absolutely amazing. But not only that, look at the other instant prizes you could potentially win. An Andy Cole signed boot, a Peter Beardsley top, a Gaza signed shirt, a Lauren Robert signed shirt, a couple of scarves. They're amazing prizes.
How many tickets are available for that?
$4.99.
All right. I gotta post you. Oh, not post you. I'll just Venmo you. But can you put me in for a few? We'll talk off camera.
Of course I can.
Yeah. Because I know it has to go to a UK address. So
it does, yes. And it's a big shirt if you win it. It'll look good in my house though. $3.95 a ticket. So description below. Honestly, great prizes. I mean, that Andy Cole boot would be the one. And I've got an Alan Shearer signed top. And thanks to Lee who gave me it. It's his testimonial top, because I raffled mine away for charity. Stupid me, but I've got a hold of another one. So I've got an Alan Shearer signed shirt, but I would love that Andy Cole signed boot. That would be incredible. So just get your tickets, guys. Amazing company. Dun dun dun. Right, Davey, what a goal that was. Which one? If we get beat tomorrow,
I think we're still talking about Bruno's header. Yep.
Bruno header, yeah. If we get beat tomorrow, are we getting pulled into a relegation dogfight? That's a very interesting question.
Let's look at the standings real quick.
I don't think we are with the teams that are in the bottom 3 with the amount of points they've got. I think we're 8 points over 5 points ahead, or 8 points ahead. I know we're 12.
Then we're all right. I think we're okay. But I mean again, it's so tight in the middle,
wouldn't it? Yeah, oh yeah.
It's so tight in the middle.
I've said this for so many people. If we can just pull 2, 3, 4 wins together, you shoot right up that table, and then you get that polar opposite of the fan base again. Everything's rosy again. Yep. And then it's when you lose a couple, everything goes down again, and then people start whinging again.
we're only 5 points out of 5th.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look at it, you win tomorrow. You could jump up to 10th with Fulham.
Yeah.
And Brentford, tied for 9th, 10th. just looking at the other fixtures for tomorrow as well. So
Yeah,
if results go our way.
It all depends if results go our way. But again, if you can just spring 3-4 wins together in a row, you know other teams are going to beat each other or draw. You know you're going to climb that table. It's all about getting 3-4 wins together. Then we've got a chance.
Okay.
Bottom three are on 9. We're on 20. Yeah, we're not going anywhere near the bottom three for me. I thought the bottom three was a little bit more than that, but no. Who was our keep? Right. So let's talk about teams. This is what SofaScore said Leicester's team would be. Hamza Chowdhury. Now there's a name.
We couldn't get him over the line.
There's our January signing, guys. Oliver Skip.
Connor Cody, formerly of Wolves.
Yeah. I mean, that was a weird move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Vestergaard. I mean, the defense is quite solid, but they're old, not as mobile as they would like to be. So it depends how deep they sit to what we do to them. Now, their midfield, though, we should be all over that. Now, the only really good player in there is actually a player they've got on loan, which is number 40.
Yep.
Benunot, however you pronounce his name. He's from Brighton. And he wasn't obviously allowed to play last week because they were playing Brighton.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's...
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
keep
looking
Vardy
at it.
quiet. Vardy can't run for 90 minutes, you know. They're missing Ndidi, who's, I think, still a fantastic player. He's had a bit of bad luck with injuries. I think our midfield should overrun their midfield, and I think we should get enough chances to put this game to bed. Saying that, we're not too sure what the team's going to be tomorrow. Now, I've given it my guess of what I would like to see. I don't think this is what Eddie Howe will do, personally. I think he'll be close, because, I mean, there's not many changes we can make, but I think this is what we go with. Now, I've only really made 2 changes.
Yep. I see him right off the bat.
Yep. I think Trips comes back in at right back. Now, it's no disrespect to Tino at all, but we're missing that leadership from Trips. And we're also missing his attacking pronounce up front. The way that he joins in, he's dead balls, set pieces, crossing, he's intelligent. I know he hasn't got the pace, but I think we're missing Trips. And I think Dubs has to come in for Pope if Pope is injured. Now, I'm sticking with the midfield 3, even though you could drop Joe Linton the way he's been playing recently. But I think this is his game to shine against that Leicester midfield that is very weak. And I think Murphy stays in for the balance. That's the only reason why he's there. I think Barnes should come in because against his former team. Well, if you do that, you've got to play Barnes on the left and then Gordon on the right, and then you take away what Gordon's good at. I don't like playing Gordon on the right.
I don't either, but that was what, again, that goes back to the World Cup or the Euros. I'm sorry, the World Cup. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can play anywhere on those front 3, and the comments that he's made to Sky Sports, where he said, where he's admitted that the comments about him, the hangover from the World Cup, not getting enough minutes, after doing so well to get on the team sheet, to get on the plane, he said he has been affected by all the talk about, is he tempted by Liverpool? He said, I've never said I wanted to leave. I've always wanted to be. I love playing here. I love everything about the place. He says, I'm enjoying my football. I'm only 23 years old. Let me get back to it. And now and he says that he and Eddie have talked about it. It's stuff that he now has to just put behind him and not think about it and just get out there and go get raring to go. And we've seen Gordon play well on the right. I agree with you. He does his best when he's on the left. And do you think Harvey Barnes is up for playing against his old club?
I do, yeah. I think Harvey Barnes got a point to prove still. A lot of people want him in the side as well because he scores goals. But when Harvey Barnes isn't scoring goals, what else is he doing?
Right.
Which is what And again, we want two in every position. So technically, we're so rich on the left-hand side, which is so frustrating.
I was thinking about that this morning. Our left side is something else. Our
Yeah.
right side is where, I mean, and when I say right side,
We
it's
all know
all the
it.
way up the pitch. It's right-sided center back. It's right back. It's right midfield. It's right wing. Everything about the right hand side, we are totally lopsided.
Well, right back, Tino is going to be very, very good. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
He's still finding his feet, isn't he?
Yep.
When Trips comes in, that really solids up that right-hand side for me on the right back situation. It's obviously, is Murphy going to play his 1 in 5 amazing game, or is he going to play his 4 out of 5 games where he's bang average and looks like he shouldn't be anywhere near a black and white shirt?
Right.
I mean, again, I feel sorry for Murphy because he's a great pro.
Yeah.
He's funny. You know,
He's
the
not a
smile on
terrible
his
player.
face. He's not. And Eddie trusts him. He's very intelligent, apparently. So it's just he doesn't have that composure at times when he needs it, the right decision making.
His consistency is lacking. Yeah.
It was massively lacking. And he just said he played well in 2 competitive games on the road to full recovery, and he was pleased with his progress or something along those lines. That's about Miley, which is good.
Yep.
Last season, Livramento was one of the best tacklers I've seen, but agree we still have Trips. We should make the most of it. Like I say, Tino's tracking back, he's tackling, his recoveries is fantastic. But the reason why he's so good at recoveries is because he puts himself in a bad position. You take him, you put Trips there, you watch how he doesn't really put himself in a bad position, and then how he marshals the rest of the back four as well. He's a vocalist on that pitch as well, which is what we're missing.
Constantly talking to Cher and Burn and saying, "Hey, you got to be here, guys. Pick him up."
Around. Yeah, that's what we're missing. And it's like
the leadership needed for Hall on the other side. You know, hey, you go forward, I'll hang back, or I'm going forward, you hang back. You know,
And the other thing that some people have mentioned, I don't know if you agree or disagree with this, why not play Kelly at left centre back, play Dan Burn back at left back? I know this sounds weird, but when you've got Trips at right back, that is how we finished in the Champions League places, because Trips drifted into midfield. We then went into a set back three, because Dan Burn was never really a left back in that system.
Right.
We actually played a back three most of the time and went out of the possession. We obviously went back into a back four. So is there a case for that system to come back into play again? Because it works so well.
If we had Willock in the left hand midfield, we could seeing Joe Linton play there. I can see it.
I like
it's just.
And again, it's really harsh on Lewis Hall because he's having an absolute fantastic season for us.
Yeah.
But the way we played and the way we got into Champions League and the way we overran teams in the midfield is because Trips stepped up.
Yep.
And we became a back three. So
but Lloyd Kelly is no Sven Botman. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is true. Again, it does rely on free quality centre backs, doesn't it? Yeah, apparently Gordon is quite off the pitch. His words, not mine, so I'm not sure if it would work as a captain. Was he captain at Everton at any point? At his young age?
I don't think so. Shit, he would have only been 20.
That is one for someone to look into and get back to us in the chat. Has Gordon ever wore the captain's armband? Because I think he would make a very good captain, to be fair. He's very intelligent. He always gets thrown in front of the camera. England duty, Newcastle duty. He's always there answering the questions. He doesn't dodge anything. He answers it honestly. And that's what you want from a captain.
And well spoken. You know? He's not going to sit up there and slip up and say the wrong thing.
Very well spoken. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I just had to say that.
No, yeah, sure enough. I tell you what, for all the punditry he does, I can't stand listening to Jamie Carragher. I just can't. He just bothers me greatly.
I wish he would.
Well, if you remember that scene, I mean, the whole thing was getting Jamie Tartt to be a prick. To be a prick. Well, you don't have to do that to Jamie Carragher. So Gary's asking who the hardest bloke in the squad is.
Who's the hardest bloke in the squad? I mean, I wouldn't go past Dan Burn, to be fair.
Well, so Gary, I was going to say, when you say hard, are we looking at David Batty hard? Are we looking at
like
Are we looking at Brian Kilcline hard? Are we looking at Philippe Albert hard? When we talk hard, what are we talking about? Because I would put Big Joe against any of them, and then right behind him would be Dan, and then right behind him would be Dan Burn. I would put both of those two right up in the middle. We just don't want Fabian Schär near anybody where he could accidentally head someone and fall down on the ground and hurt himself, for the rest of the season.
What about RoboCop? Batman.
Well, sure, but he's got to be in the side first.
Yep,
I think toughest guy in the squad right now.
The squad, not in the side, you see. So squad, so Botman's got to be up there as well.
Botman would be up there as well. Yeah, those are our top three.
Yeah, I think definitely top four. Do we do 4 or do we do 3?
I said Joe Linton and Dan Burn.
And then Botman.
And then you said Botman. Yep.
Yeah. I think
looking at a guy who could command respect with bollock players, true captain in the old sense of the word. So like a Brian Kilcline. I'm with Baz. Dan Burn. I think has got that. But then again, we don't have Dan Burn for that many years either. He's 32, 33 now.
Yeah,
isn't he? So he's getting up there.
But
I'm not taking anything away from Jamal Lascelles. I mean, that kid has proven now over the last 7-8 years that he's not one to be trifled with either.
Yeah, Lascelles would definitely be top 5.
Mm-hmm.
To have the balls, what he did in the changing rooms at Nottingham Forest when we were going down.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in Nottingham Forest? I can't remember where. I'm sure, but again, he stood up and
and told some home truths.
Becomes our captain, doesn't he? So
at 23,
yeah,
it's
fantastic. I wouldn't drop Dan Burn, and the reason why I think he's been our best player. I thought he was great against Palace. His goal line stop was unbelievable. Kelly's got a lot to prove after that West Ham. I know everyone else didn't play that well either, but he played terribly, and we were all expecting better. So I'm looking at a guy who would command respect with bollock players. Oh, we've done that bit. Nothing on Wiki reply Gordon being captain, so he mustn't have been a captain. I thought you might have put the armband on because obviously Everton were desperate, weren't they? And Gordon was their star player, and I thought you might have done it.
The question I have for you on your side selection, if you were to be unfair to Lewis Hall, if you were to drop Hall, put Dan Burn out on the left, Boyd Kelly plays left-sided center back, Schär, and then you bring Trips in. Are we losing any mobility there is my concern. We know that Trips can go forward, but are we losing the mobility that we have in a Livramento and a Hall, the young lads that have a bit of spring in their step that can get back? Just another idea how good he's been with the Agreed. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. Give that a thumbs up.
Speaking of Gordon there. Yep. With that comment. Yep.
Do we lose mobility? I mean, the other way of doing it is maybe playing Kelly at left back and keeping Dan Burn where he is, and then Kelly moves across because Kelly is quite quick. So you've got the mobility with him. But you do lose a bit of mobility going forward. But Trips gets himself in so many good areas without being quick because he's intelligent. But also he had Miggy in front of him who was intelligent enough to make the space for him. And this is what really gets me angry about the Miggy haters, is they don't see his off the ball work. They just see his stats of assists and goals, which I know he needed to do more of it. But when you watch Miggy playing with Trips and with Bruno, watch how many times he runs inside to make that room for Trips to get down. And that's why Trips ended up with 10 assists that season.
Goal of the year against Crystal Palace. Just look at what that was about. Trips to Bruno with the perfectly weighted pass that allowed Miggy to come in on off the right. So
but he did so much off the ball. And I kept on saying this to people before he even went on that run of goals. For 2 seasons, when I watched him, when he struggled to score, we had a side who couldn't find him. And I kept on saying to people, look at the runs he's making. And nobody's finding him. If you keep making those runs and no one finds you, that's not your fault you're not scoring. That's down to the team and the players behind you who can't put you in the positions that you need to be in. Miggy's not the kind of person who'll pick up the ball like a Messi and go past 2 players and, smash one in the top corner. He's not that kind of player. But when he makes those intelligent runs inside, and Bruno was finding him, he was finding the back of the net. And then when Bruno wasn't finding Miggy, he was making space for Trips, and Trips was being found, and then Trips was getting the great balls into the box, causing danger. Again, 10 assists. The reason why he got 10 assists is because he had space and time created by who was in front of him. And that's where Murphy lacks the intelligence when Trips is behind him, because Murphy doesn't make that space for him.
Agreed.
So, as much as everyone hates Miggy, they also forget about what he was actually very good at.
And then I like to remind everybody, Trips started the game against Spurs, and we remember that 21 minutes. Yes. And Murphy had a fantastic day that day. So, everybody's due to have another one of those fantastic games. So,
and Davey, I agree with you again. It's not just the defense; it's the team defending. It's a tough one. And again, you put Sven Botman back in that back line. You put a 100% fit Nick Pope. I don't think we concede that many goals. But again, if you bring Trips back into the team, I don't think we're as lazy as we have been off the ball as well.
I have a question about the keeper. If Pope is indeed out, you'd think that Dubs comes in. But let's be honest. Looking at Dubravka play the last part of last season, and when he's come in and deputized for Pope this season, he just doesn't seem all there. And he's 35 years old. He's not going to put himself out there in order to possibly get injured. He doesn't throw himself to the ground to go after the hard ones. He's had a couple of good matches, but I'm just wondering if Odie might be worth having a look at. He doesn't play badly for Greece.
I think because the way that the team sheets have been put out and the bench, it always looks like that Dubs is number 2. So I don't think
it does.
So I think that I understand what you're saying, but I think Dubs comes in, to be honest with you. I just want to jump back to this one very quick. Miggy got sussed out. Miggy did get sussed out making those runs inside, and that's why the defenders blocked them. But when the defenders blocked them, they were doubling up on him, and that left the space for Trips. That's what I was trying to explain to you. Miggy was clever in still making space for other people. It's not about how dangerous you are on the ball. It's also about being dangerous off the ball. I don't know how many times I said that about Alan St-Maximin, who a lot of people got frustrated with. I always said St-Maximin can be more dangerous off the ball than ever been on it because he attracts defenders to him. All he's got to do is play a one-touch pass, suck defenders in, and it creates space somewhere else. And it's having the intelligence and the right players and more effective players in those positions to make use of it. And that's what we didn't have at the time. Is it other players being a year, 2 years older than Champions League qualification has a downside slope hit our defence? You could be absolutely right, Gary. Could be spot on the money there, couldn't he?
Yep. I've been thinking that, truthfully, Gary, I've been thinking about that for the last 6 months. We're 2 years on now, not getting any younger. But we can't see, we can't turn around and buy our way out of it.
Nope.
As much as we'd love to.
We did try and buy another right-sided centre-back, but they wanted too much money. So
and now he's worth less than half that. So
let's hope so. So
it sounds like he's still in the picture. So
I think he is. I am going to ask this question: do you think Eddie Howe is playing the media and trying to get rid of the Newcastle tax?
I would hope so.
Yeah. Because he's basically come up and said you'd be very surprised if anyone comes in January, unless we sell. But then that makes me think we offered 70 million for Alanga from Forest. We offered 55, 60 million for Gea at Palace.
Other way around. We
Or we're
we
on.
offered 50, 55 for Elanga, and then we offered 70 for Gahey, and they wouldn't even take our
So where's that money gone?
right. You know. So my thing is, who do we have left to sell? I mean, so I saw someone on Twitter said that supposedly Paul Mitchell's in charge, and he's entertaining offers for Longstaff.
Yep, in January his contract runs out. Unless I think they might have activated the year, which makes his value a bit higher than what it would have been if he was out in the summer. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it, but I'm sure they activated the year, but they also will listen to offers for him in January.
Anybody
Homegrown
else?
player,
I mean,
it's 100% profit.
right.
Miggy apparently wants out now, hopefully.
I can see him being frustrated, sure.
Yeah, I've just bigged him up, but he is being left out because I think they are trying to say, right, it is time for you to go. We need to move on, which we know that. I know that as a Miggy fan. I still know he's not to the level we need to be. We need an Mbeumo. We need a Jared Bowen, someone like that.
Yep.
So there's two. There's Jamal Lewis. We need to get off the books still. There's Target. We need to get off the books still, and he's still a good player, Target.
And he still has a contract until what, 28?
Yeah.
27?
Hayden, we need to get off the books as well because he's still there till the summer.
I don't know why we don't offer him just a free transfer and just get him off the books altogether.
Yeah,
because we're not going to get any money for him. We paid $2.5 million for it. What do you expected? 10? No, It's not going to happen.
No, exactly. So, that's interesting, Davies. Are you coaching anyone now since you passed your badges? That'd be interesting to know. I believe they extended Longstaff's. Yeah, I think they did. And then they were also listened to offers in January, and that means there's a year and a half left on his contract. So he's actually going to be worth more than what there would be if there was 6 months left.
Right.
Miggy Longstaff, possibly a surprise move from City for Bruno, according to Martin, was it? But yeah, Martin said, I mean, it's not a surprise move. This Bruno to City thing's been going on for God knows how long. Here's the silver bullet question. You've got sellable assets in Gordon, Isak, Bruno, Tonali, and Botman. They're the 5 players I would class as excellent to world class and would get into any side in the top 6. They're the only 5 players for me.
Yep.
Willick could fit into that if he ever stayed fit.
Yep.
But they're the 5 for me.
Yep. Fair.
The oldest one is Bruno. He's turning 28.
Mm-hmm.
If we're offered 90 plus add-ons, which is the rumor from City, because he wants to potentially, I mean, why would you turn down Pep? City are on a rebuild. They need a Bruno in their team at the moment. They're missing that fight in midfield, like Rodri Brung. Bruno would be perfect for that.
And Bruno's not having a terrific season. We've seen it.
Not. So would you take 90 million plus add-ons while it's still available? Because I don't think next season that is available because unless his form really shoots up, I think he obviously starts to decrease in value. So do we do the unthinkable? And I hate the idea of it, but a 90 plus add-ons would allow us with the way the Premier League works with contracts.
That gives us what,
you'll get a 5-year. Yeah, you'll get a 5-year contract. So over the 5 years, it allows us to spend so much money each year. We could potentially bring in an Mbeumo, bring in a Gea, and potentially bring in a striker as well. So is it worth that risk selling them or not?
My only concern with that business, that's what I was smiling about earlier. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. The only thing that worries me about that is the knock-on effect on Jolit. That's my only concern.
Was here before Bruno.
Yes, but look, the brotherhood that has emerged there, the two of them big each other up all the time. My biggest fear is Bruno leaves, Joelinton slumps. Joelinton slumps. Now we've lost a major part of our midfield. I mean, losing Bruno, we've got Tonali. Who are you bringing in to replace him? If we're not selling Longstaff, conceivably You've got a Tonali, Willock, Joe Linton midfield. You've got a Joe Linton, Longstaff, Tonali midfield. If Bruno's no longer in the side, my concern is Bruno goes, Joe Linton slumps. Now we don't have a midfield. We've got Tonali carrying all the water.
I don't know if he would slump though, because they won't be that far apart. Newcastle to Manchester isn't far.
No,
they'll still have the bromance off the pitch, and I think he's professional enough to realise that. I think the players know it. I think the staff know it. I think everyone knows it at Newcastle that they may have to make a sacrifice if they want to go forward. And the only sacrifice that makes sense is Bruno, because, and I've always said this, Tonali can step into his shoes.
Absolutely.
He might not be the player
you can't
off the
replace,
pitch.
Right, and you can't replace a player like Isak easily.
No.
Isak's the one that he's the crown jewels. He's the one that you hold on to for dear life. Tonali is second
110%.
in that regard. Tonali is second in that regard. Botman is third in that regard. Bruno is the sacrifice.
Yeah.
As much as a talisman as he's become in the last 3 seasons, everybody can see the writing on the wall.
Yeah. If
we're trying to get out of FFP PSR, that's the move you have to make.
Yeah. And what other blue chip players would see with action and ambition? A big happy kick up the rear. I don't think so, Roger, because if you invest the money properly and you're able to push on the project quicker because you've sold a big asset like that, the other players will think, yeah, I understand that. They'll be intelligent enough to understand it. If you bring in an Mbeumo or a Jared Bowen on the right wing, you then bring in Gay at centre back. You then also find a 50 million striker. I mean, that the guy that Isak plays with for Sweden, I can't pronounce his name properly.
Yeah.
He's only 60 million apparently because of a buyout clause or something. You bring those 3 players in, they're thinking, shit, competition.
Agreed.
We're going places now because we've just signed 3 quality players. So the players will understand that. And I do hate the idea of Bruno leaving. I hate the idea of Bruno playing for another Premier League team. But it's the only sacrifice that makes sense on paper. I don't want it. I don't like it. But when you think about the positives that could come out of it, it's one of those ones you write down the side, pros and cons, and there'll be 50-50, and you'll be like, oh crap, do we have to?
Well, and Eddie can sell it.
Yeah.
And when you think about Bruno coming in, and what he's done for us over the last 2 seasons, you also tie him to Merdad and Amanda.
Yeah.
Because it was that era, they're all together and everything. Then it's not so hard, I don't know. I might be talking out of my ass. But.
Well, I mean, this is what we're here for. We're here to have a discussion about it. We're not saying it's going to happen. We're not saying, we know something other than what Martin's told us. Martin has told us, Pep wants Bruno. The board are going to back Pep. So let's just see how it plays out. But the thinking behind what we're saying is
Gary said it.
Yeah, it's our personal opinions. Does competition not get the best out of them as Isak when Wilson was fit, for example? That's what I'm saying. If we bring in 3 quality players, it's going to be, holy crap, this team's going somewhere. Now there's competition. At the moment, there's only competition on the left wing.
And the only, and as Gary said, we've got 2 peas in a pod in Tonali and Bruno. If we sell Bruno, Tonali then starts getting starting minutes, playing minutes, and I think he becomes, because right now they're all trying to figure out how to play Tonali and Bruno together.
Yeah, well, they've worked out how to do
Tonali
it.
gets to do everything.
6 and a 10. That's the way that it works. The one thing I worry about Bruno being a 10 is he can't shoot. Well, he can shoot. He's got no power.
Yeah,
he lacks that Szoboszlai sort of hit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
we're seeing him trying to kill one with his left foot, and the keepers are saving them all day long because there's just no venom behind them. If we don't get 3 points tomorrow, I'm not confident even a top 10 finish. And you know me, I'm always optimistic because I remember what relegation feels like. I know what 2 relegations feel like.
Yeah.
Right. This is another thing, right? If Eddie Howe isn't bluffing the media and we don't sign anyone in January, are we writing this season off behind the scenes and then focusing fully on a potential bigger summer window?
Rebuild summer.
Yeah.
I could see it. If Eddie's playing us and we don't even get, we don't get Gahey, we don't bring anybody in. Or if we do bring anybody in, it's going to be youngsters in order to build up the academy, build up the under 21s. If we bring in that low level business, nobody that's going to instantly improve our starting 11, then yeah, I see big things happening in the summer.
Yeah, I think you're right. This season, our fans aren't going to like that. They're going to, we're not going to qualify for Europe potentially. I mean, we'll keep pushing. Don't get me wrong. The players at the club will keep pushing, but they'll all be told this is the plan. This is what we're going to be doing. This is how the summer's going to look if we don't do anything in January, because it's the hardest window to navigate. It could be the right thing to do. Don't like it as a fan. But again, we could be in a semi-final of a cup competition after Wednesday night. We could end up potentially being in a final again. You never know. So the season's not lost yet. We've also got an FA Cup third tie round, which is very winnable. And then we're in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We don't know how well that competition's going to play out. Man, I hate to lose Shaw to the bench. He's a leader and a physical and a rocket shot. But Shaw's struggling because of his age. He needs a bit of rotation. He needs a bit of rest.
And we don't have anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have anyone. We don't have Lascelles to slip in there. We don't have a Kraft to slip in there. I wouldn't even play Trippier at center back and play Livramento on the right. It doesn't work.
Nope.
Can you imagine Trippier and Dan Burn as your first choice center back partnership? No, it just can't.
A little enlarged. Do you know what would have been really good though is if Kraft hadn't got that horrible injury, because I think this is a sort of game where Kraft could step in and play centre back with Dan Burn, and then Shaw can have a rest.
Yep.
Do you know
Agreed.
what I mean?
Yep. And they've proven they can do it. Those two play well together. Yep.
Did very well together. Right, guys, don't forget, we've got this live on the 16th of January. It's in between a double-header Newcastle fixtures. It's £10 per person. All money is going to charity. Every single penny.
And UFC fans, Food Bank, and the Stanley Deaf Club.
Exactly. So for tickets, superfandan831@gmail.com. Just drop them an email. You don't have to pay straight away. You can pay on the night, or you can wire them the money. It's entirely up to yourselves.
We could do it on PayPal. Or you could just tell me you'll get it to me on the night. I just want to put your name down on the list. We only have 60 tickets, and we've sold over half of them. So if you want to go, please reach out and let me put your name on the list.
Yep. And we've got Luke Edwards, which I think is a massive coup. It's a January transfer window, and we can find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Ask him any question you want. It won't be recorded, so you can be as honest as he wants, and no one will be allowed to record it, so you can put it on Twitter and blow it out, because I don't want stuff like that. We want to have a quality night with 60 people and then go out in town afterwards and get pissed. That's exactly what we want. It's going to be great. And then you get to meet Dan, and you get to meet John. And then I'll just be standing.
Everybody in Newcastle knows John.
Exactly.
Jimmy Owen says, "No, go ahead. No, sorry, you're above me."
I would take a cup 2. Would still like to top finish though. First half, top half finish. Would get European football with a cup. Exactly. So it's not the be all to end all. We finished 7th. Should have got European football, and then Man United stole it by winning the FA Cup. So why can't we do that to another team?
Agreed.
A fellow American supporter Dan.
Toon, I think it's supposed to be Toon supporter.
Toon support Dan, I think so. Yeah. So Jimmy is an American.
Jimmy, welcome.
Blackie always said you're very rare to see a rugby player get hamstrings injuries. He said footballers are like racehorses too, finely tuned. Exactly, completely different. Always said that. I wonder how you would have managed Wilson. I'm looking forward to it, Baz and Dan. Yes, Roger, we can't wait to meet you again. Obviously, I've met Roger before. I had to Steve Rafe one, which was great. What else we got? Don't forget, football prizes. Link is in the description. I will discuss with you afterwards, Dan. Don't you worry.
Yep.
And Diet Crow, code Baz 20 for 20% off. Link is in the description. Get yourself a t-shirt. You could get the channel one and support the channel that way as well.
I just got 3 new ones from
Did you?
Mr. Spinney. I got and we don't have them on here, but they're on Twitter. I just got the ESPN one. That's the NUFC, the NUFC in the ESPN font. I just got. I'll tell you what, that Pink Floyd one is class. The dark side of the moon. So it's white light going into the prism, and it comes out black and white stripes on the other side, and it says the Tyne side of the moon. It's fantastic.
He does have a great play on music, don't he, with his t-shirts?
Yeah. I didn't understand, for the longest time, I didn't understand the Grateful Dead one until I understood that the Grateful Dead played St. James's Park. And that's what was making it was the Jerry Garcia one in the brown ale logo. I was doing my head and trying to figure that one out, and finally reached out to him and said, "All right, there's Jimmy, a member for 6 months."
Yes, well done, Jimmy. Thank you for your support as always. Have you got a watch along tomorrow? No, I'm at work 7 till 7, 7 till 7, 7 till 7. And then Monday, Tuesday night, 7 till 7. So I'm off the radar a little bit. You said footballers should work on the scrummage machine, strengthen and bulk the hamstrings. Yeah, but then it makes them does it make them slower because of that? Because they bulk up too much? I don't know. I was so close to choosing the t-shirt, Dan. There we go. Dan, Roger won the prize and obviously got a t-shirt. So did Leslie. So prediction time. This is going to be interesting. Guys in the chat, get your predictions in, score predictions very quickly because we're running out of time. Dan, tell me what the score is going to be.
2-1 to the Toon.
Ooh, 2-1. It's going to be a tight one again. I don't know if my heart can take another tight one.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't see a 4-2 coming. I don't see a 3-1 coming. And I hate saying 2-0 because that's the most dangerous lead to hold on to. So they don't have legs like Grealish.
That's what I was thinking. But Grealish is actually quite quick, to be fair to him.
And his is all on his calves.
Yeah.
So
he's like a Roberto Carlos, isn't he?
What I was going to say is if they hit the scrummage machines and everything, they'd all look like Stuart Pearce. Psycho thighs. So no, thank you.
I love it. We're just gone 3-1. Jimmy says 2-1 as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry there's no watch along, guys. I just can't do it. I always say 2-1. That's fair enough.
I was saying 2-0 at the beginning of the season. They were backfiring on me. I had to give up. I had to give up a goal. So
I need to check Super 6 and see what I put, because I think the Newcastle game's in it. And if it is, I can't go against what I said on Super 6. Yes, we are on Super 6. View predictions. What did I put? Come on, edit. I put 2-0. I don't know why I put 2-0. We're not going to keep a clean sheet. I'm now questioning my prediction now.
That's me. I've got text messages coming like crazy right now.
Nope, I'm sticking with 2-0.
Okay.
Sticking with 2-0. I think with our midfield, I don't think Leicester are going to get much ball in our half. Hopefully that's the plan. And we'll score 2.
I think if Tonali sits, if he becomes the 6 and stays at the 6 tomorrow, I think we could have a cracker of a game. I just don't want the confusion that has set in between Bruno and Tonali, where they just can't seem to get on the same page. If Tonali says, "Look, I'm going to hold this down, you go forward," then I think you're right. But I hope I'm with you, and it's no disrespect to Tino as well. I hope Trips comes back in. If nothing else, gives him the opportunity to say goodbye if he's going in January.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a home match.
Is that all talk as well, though? Again, different time for that.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. Roger, I'm hoping next season to put together a massive Super 6 league, £10 per person, all the money going to the winners. I've got a massive idea. I just need to get more people involved in it. But unfortunately, it's just a UK thing because Super 6 is only available in the UK. But keep an eye out for it because hopefully getting some people involved in it, that'll hopefully make it a huge league and huge prizes. Do like manager of the month prizes and things like that. So keep an eye out for it. But we're all going for a home win. I think it's time we got back on the winning track. I think we've got a massive chance of winning the next 2 games, and it really will just put a more positive spin on everything that's been going on, and we can be happier in the tune. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the great comments in the chat as always, and to the mods who do a great job. We will be back either Saturday night or Sunday night. It all depends on when the lads are available. Obviously, we'll put that in the group chat and see who can make it. But yeah, until then, enjoy the game on tomorrow. I will be keeping an eye on it at work as best as I'm allowed.
All right.
And yeah, see you all either Saturday or Sunday night.
Ho, ho, ho. We'll see you soon.
Ho, ho, ho. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.